Morning all, how are we doing? Morning Stevie, morning Sammy, Themba, Machinist, Diamond, Peter, Sajid. How are we all doing this morning? Really late this morning. I didn't wake up until 7 o'clock this morning. It's very unlike me. I'm not setting my alarm at the moment because it's school holidays and I don't have to get up. But slept until 7 this morning. Never up at 7. Always up at 6. Anywho, so I'm half asleep still. Morning, Hank. Right. So, quick recap of yesterday. Actually, I'm going to start with the news, and then I'm going to do a recap of yesterday, because yesterday was hell. I'll show you why in a minute. I was looking at overnight news. Main thing come out of overnight was New Zealand Governor Orr saying that they will be putting another couple of rate hikes in at least, which is not unexpected, but they don't think they are going to go into a recession. So Royal Bank of New Zealand has been way ahead of the curve with interest rates. They have they've been putting their interest rates up faster than everyone else, and they reduced them less than everybody else during COVID. So they're a little bit ahead of inflation compared to the rest of the world at the moment, which is good. New Zealand are always on the ball. With COVID, they're on the ball. They shut the borders on day one. They had one case. They shut the borders. That was it. They got on top of COVID. They obviously got it in the end, obviously, but they are proactive on everything, New Zealanders. So they're saying they're not going to go into recession, so we will see. But a couple more rate hikes coming on New Zealand. We had Tokyo's CPIs overall pretty much as forecast. A bit of a weak yen this morning, so yen's weakened a little bit on those. Pretty much business as usual there. And our price cap 3.5k. So woohoo! My electricity bill is going to double. Fantastic. I've already paid £350 a month for my electricity bill. Awesome. So yeah. So I've now got to produce just under 1% on my FX account just to pay my gas bill. Mental. And that's not the end of it. It's going up again. So yeah. Anyway, that's the news. Morning, Sean. Today we've got PCE this afternoon. The big one's going to be Fed Chair Powell, though. So the PCE, we should get some movement pre-market. But I'm expecting Powell to come out with a few hints this afternoon as to where's my pen gone thin? As to what's going to be happening with interest rates for the Fed. So 3 o'clock this afternoon, we might get a fairly quiet morning this morning. Not sure. We'll see. But that's where the big news is this afternoon. Because obviously we've had a day of Jackson Hole, and we will have had pretty much 2 days of Jackson Hole by the time he's coming out to speak. Actually, Jackson Hole is in America, so that's going to be an early morning for them. So yeah, he's talking early morning actually. So yeah, we'll see. But we got some fairly decent news this afternoon. So all US dollar based. Morning, Neo. So yeah, should get some decent movement this afternoon. As to whether we get that this morning, I don't know. We have to wait and see. So on my account yesterday, I banked 0.73. Only one trade yesterday, which was. No, well, there's a couple of trades yesterday. Tell a lie. DAX closed a couple out. So I took one DAX yesterday, if you remember. Well, I didn't. The EA took a DAX yesterday. On that reversal alert. And I got out at gap fill. Perfect. Absolutely couldn't get it any clearer, could you? Market structure, shift, down to gap fill. Absolute textbook. So I got that one yesterday. There was this one as well, which was from the previous day, which was closed out at a tiny loss. And then US dollar Swiss, closed those two out yesterday. Down here, we've got the reversal alert, shut them out. Put a trailing stop on basically as we got down here towards these lows. So took those two off. And then there was one oil which I closed out. This was, it's only a little $57 loss, so it's nothing much. Basically, I entered, remember I got flat yesterday on oil because I wasn't, not yesterday, the day before, because I wasn't sure about this price action. We had the oil inventories come out and oil went a bit schizophrenic for a good couple of hours. It was really odd. Just not seeing it act like this. You look at normal price action on oil and look at that. Something wasn't right. So it kind of spooked me. So I thought, well, I've got a break-even opportunity. So I got out of break-even and I said, I will put a new position on if we break the high of the day, high of Asia, which we did just about at the end of the day. But I only put a tiny little starter 0.3 position on that. And then the EA got me in over here on a reversal alert. So I took basically another position there. We dropped down yesterday. So EA got another position on in this accumulation. And as we were pushing down, I decided basically to put a stop here on that little tiny position, just because I'm over leveraged up there. I had a 0.11 on where I should have had a 0.8. So I decided just to take my manual trade off. So it's only $57, is nothing. But it just means I'm not over leveraged. I'm not, if we do drop on oil, I'm not going to have to do drawdown control on that little 0.3. Just a technical trade, really. So, so yeah, so that was yesterday. Not bad. 0.73. Sitting in 0.73, funnily enough, of DD at the moment. Nothing's in any issue there. So the hell day was on this monster yesterday. So as you know, yesterday I took basically a 1.8 loss yesterday. I've taken a 0.8 loss this morning. I was on 6.88% with a target of 8% on the funded account, and I got myself up to 4% odd in drawdown, and I just couldn't sustain it anymore, so I had to close some out. Basically, Aussie dollar Swiss yesterday was a beast. It wouldn't stop. So I'll show you the trades I took. So as you can see, I've got on at the moment 276 short, but these are all 0.31s. I've got one aggressive position I took down here the day before. I need to scroll out so you can see what I'm doing. So I took these two aggressive drawdown control positions, which stopped out. Fair enough, no problem. Then we pushed up, and I got another aggressive position on here. Okay, with a view to basically having some kind of drop yesterday, that I could do a little bit of drawdown control on the Aussie Swiss with. It didn't. It continued to push, and it continued to push up to ADR pretty much. So I thought, screw this, I'm going to take a more aggressive position up here. So I decided to scale in with more aggressive positions, as you can see, these 0.9s. Yeah. And basically, I had the stops on all of these above the highs because I had to. If these hadn't stopped out, and look at this for a spread, bastards. If I hadn't stopped out at these highs, I'd have blown the account, basically. So I had to stop out, and I didn't have a choice. Had to happen. So what did the market do? Pushed up, got all the positions on, and then it pulled back down to here, and I thought, yeah, this is fantastic. So I added another position. You can see the other extra. Let me zoom in so we can see it a bit clearer. Yeah, so we pushed down from the high. So I was looking for an Asian high. It did that. It pushed down. So I added another aggressive position on there. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aggressive positions on there. Yeah. So overnight, I put my stops up here. Look. let me draw the stops in so you can actually see the line, because this is a good demonstration of brokers. There I put my stops. Okay, that one got stopped out pretty much at break even, which is fine. This one got stopped out there, which is fine, because that is where the stop loss was. I had a stop on this one. Rather than putting it all the way up here, I put it there, because I was hoping they weren't going to take that high, but they did, and that one as well. So those two kind of broke with very little loss. These ones, however, got stopped out exactly there, and this one got stopped out all the way up there. Yeah, price never went anywhere near there, right? Price was here. Yeah, so they spread me 13 pips to get my stop. So, and that was this position here. So basically, all of this lot that I had on yesterday, right now, would be sitting in something in the region, well, down here, would have been sitting in something of the region of $700 to $800 profit. My break even with those positions on was here. So just unfortunate. I leveraged up too much, too high, and they stopped me out. But look at these stops. Yeah, I mean, on the pip, stopped me out of that lot. And I also took a loss on this one as well, which is, this is a normal position. So all of these positions I take, the normal size positions, have got stops on, ADR stops. So they're 2 ADR stops. So this position here obviously got stopped out at 120 ADR. That's actually the one, look, there. That's the one that got stopped out. Oh my God, there's one even worse. I didn't see that up there. Right, so there's two positions. There's that one there. Jesus, there's brokers, just absolute criminals. Look. Didn't even see that one, right? So this is where we opened, right? That one got stopped at 13 pips. That one got stopped at 19 pips. 8 cap spread over 40s. Yeah, 8 cap, don't use 8 cap. 8 cap are the worst broker I have ever come across in 13 years. They are the worst broker. Execution time, 10 seconds. Hit the button, 10 seconds later, it'll put your trade in there. You try closing a scalp out with a 10-second delay. Absolutely useless. And the spreads on there are ridiculous as well. So yeah, so that's all spread it out. So basically they took $406 off me this morning, which is that loss there, including commission and spread, etc. They took that off of me this morning. Absolutely nowhere bloody where near it. So obviously, as you can imagine, I'm not particularly impressed. But it's a funded account. It's a proper account. So I can't really do anything about it. There's nothing I can say. Even if it was a normal account, brokers, that's what brokers do. They rip you off. So anyway, so this morning on that one, I'm going all out again. If you look at this one on the daily, I'm sorry to be focusing on the prop account, but I'm just going to go through why I'm doing what I'm doing. So if you look at this on the daily now, we're in the accumulation. This is the high of this particular range, and this is the low of our range. So where we're sitting right now, from a range perspective, there's two real lows on this. There's one here, low of the range, which is this area here, and then there's the proper low of the range, and that's the proper high of the range. So where we are, we're right up at the top of basically the month. It's the monthly high, basically, going back to July. So I reckon this is probably it. This is probably where we're going to turn if we're going to turn. We're on our 4th up day. You know, that's kind of, it's not a bearish day, is it? So we're on our 4th up day. It's quite a strong push. I'm expecting a down day today on the Aussie Swiss. So I'm going for it today. I have a limit order set at the high. I have a limit order set at that high. I have a stop set below that low, and I have my aggressive position in there. So these three are aggressive positions if I can get them on. I doubt I'm going to get them all on, but I'd like to certainly try and get that one on if I can, and that one I'll get on obviously if we drop anyway. And that will obviously bring the average up. So I'm basically looking to get Aussie dollar Swiss into profit today, ideally. The others I've got on aren't particularly bad. I've got DAX on at the moment. DAX is pushing the wrong way. And I've just taken one oil long as well with the EA this morning as well. So, but the DAX, same sort of thing, just pushing up at the moment or an update. We're expecting to come up and get the gap fills done. The gap fill's been done on this one, look. Where's the other gap on the DAX? Oh yes, because this is a 24-hour feed, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. This is not the Frankfurt Exchange feed. This is the what they call the 24-hour feed, which is basically it doesn't work at market open at 7 a.m. It works. It puts in pre-market pricing, so that gap's filled pre-market. That gap is not filled in real life. So we've got the gap fill to do, which is what I think they're aiming for, which is up here. So we'll see what happens with the DAX today. But yeah, I've got that one on as well. That one's getting close to 1%, which means I'll start needing to deal with that one as well. But yeah, so there's the funded account. So knocked back to 4%. Still in the game at the minute. But yeah, Aussie dollar Swiss. Yeah. Maybe puke yesterday. Nasty. But anyway. Morning, Shalk. Morning, GG Moira. I hope the Aussies will today perform parachute jumps without parachute. Yeah, well, that's it. They're all due. They're all due. All the Aussie pairs are extended. Not extended, but we had that push. Yeah, I mean Aussie Swiss. You look at Aussie Swiss. I mean, it's just. Remember, I said this is what the analysis. I did this yesterday. I've done it a couple of days. Yeah, we're right up at here. If this range is going to continue, this is where it's going to turn. We've had a 4-hour reversal. Yeah, if it's going to turn, it's going to turn now, and I'm going to milk it if it does. It's not going to get profit until next week, but they've all had a good push. Yeah, Aussie New Zealand. I mean, Aussie New Zealand's off the scale. It's proper broke out those highs. You know, I got out of my longs here, didn't I? But yeah, who would see it going up to there? But that's a short. That's a lovely short now. And Aussie US is not really doing anything because the US is flip-flopping about. Yeah, they're all due. Shalk, how do I get the Trade Manager dashboard text not to overlap when I have two charts open? You can't. The Trade Manager dash is that you just run it on one chart. This one you're looking at here is I've hacked it basically. This is not, you can't do this. The reason I've done this for the live room so that I can have this and this up at the same time. That's the only reason I've done this. I've had to hack all the spacings and everything on it. You can't do this in your one. This is my. It's called. Mine is called Trade Manager Dashboard Special. It's designed to work on one chart. If you've got multiple monitors, stick it on another monitor. That's what I used to do. When I had 6 monitors, I used to have my Trade Manager dash running on one monitor in the top right, top left, so I could constantly glance at it. But what I do now is I have a tablet on my desk, which my Trade Manager is running on all the time. So to my right, I've got my Trade Manager dash constantly open, so I can keep an eye on stuff. Mainly just so I can see market movement. You know, if suddenly something starts dramatically changing on there, I can see there's price action going. Sammy, I am swimming in drawdown on the Aussie 3.5% max. 8 cap spreads over 40s. Yeah. Off to New York. Morning, Tammy. Yeah. Aussie, you're in the Aussie New Zealand, aren't you? So, yeah, you are. The Aussie New Zealand, I'm not quite sure why this is running so hard at the moment. If you look at the New Zealand dollar, We've had strength and weakness in the New Zealand dollar. Oops, wrong one. Not really going anywhere. It's weak this morning. It's had a weak couple of days, basically. Aussie, on the other hand, has had a push. So obviously the New Zealand dollar weakness and Aussie dollar strength means you get the perfect storm. But yeah. Shall can I make the special available? No, because it's not a button. This is having to reprogram 50, 60 lines of code. It's not a button you can press just to make it go down there. It's just not. If I put the special up like this and say this is the new version of it, everyone will moan because they want it on one screen. You'll learn if you ever sell something or become a programmer. You will only ever please 50% of the people maximum. There will always be 50% of the people screaming at you. And if you want to give everybody the option to do absolutely everything, the thing won't work because there'll be 20,000 lines of code in there to make it possible for that one person that's screaming at you to do one thing that he wants to do. So no, sorry. If anybody, by the way, has bought the MT5 version of the indicator, can you go and leave a nice review for me? Market reversal alert indicator, because I'm fed up battling people on MQL5 that say it repaints because they don't understand its drawing market structure. And yes, it's going to repaint because market structure changes. And I've lost track of the amount of times in the last 2 to 3 years I've said it doesn't repaint, it draws structure. You don't understand market structure, and I can't win. I can't beat them. Because, yeah, technically it does repaint, but it repaints by design, not repaints by trying to con people. But so there's another negative review this morning on the MT5 version of the market reversal alerts indicator saying it's a piece of crap, it repaints. No, you're an idiot, you don't understand market structure, but I can't say that, can I? Anyway, so I sent him off to the course so you can learn what market structure is. But if you haven't left a review and you've got the MT5 version, it would be much appreciated if you could leave a review. If you like the indicator, of course. If you don't like it, leave a crappy one. I don't care. Doesn't seem to affect sales. It's just very annoying. It just bugs me. But anyway. Okay. Right. So let's get on with analysis. So today, Aussie CAD, I've got Aussie CAD on short at the moment. Just got the one position on that one. Waiting for the Canadian dollar to strengthen up a little bit. Nice end pattern reversal starting to form. We haven't had the reversal yet. We haven't had the structure break yet. We've had this very, very big, strong push above ADR with the Aussie dollar. So I'm looking for a retest of the propulsion gap at some point. So that's kind of target on this one down here. So I'll be looking to get out if we can get an ADR drop, which would be lovely for everybody who's in any Aussie at the moment. Euro New Zealand I've got on at the minute. I've just got the one position on that one as a short. Just like it short regardless. Pound Swiss, got that short. Looking for a bit of Swiss franc strength. Weekly range on Aussie. There you go. So we've hit our weekly on the Aussie New Zealand. It is Friday, but we've hit the weekly. So proper extended, which means it's probably just pushed up this morning, isn't it? Yeah. So it's just made a new high. US dollar Swiss short. I've got 2 on that one at the moment. I took all these ones off. So I've made a fairly decent amount of profit on it. We're just accumulating at the moment. Again, US dollar this afternoon. So we've got Powell and we've got PCE this afternoon. So we should get a decent amount of movement on the US this afternoon. Direction wise, I don't know. But you can see I've got my TPs down at this propulsion gap. So I will evaluate when we get down to there. I'm hoping I'm going to get another position on this morning. It's going to need to push up to yesterday's high to get me in this morning. So what I'd like this to do this morning is push up to yesterday's high, get me into another position ahead of the news, hopefully. And oil. I've got those two on oil at the moment. That was too close. It's only 90 pips, 9 pips. So that was too close to get me into another position. But oil's just taken out yesterday's low. So not sure on oil at the minute. Bit of a question mark over that one. We've got quite a bit going on with oil at the moment. Yesterday we had OPEC talking about what were they talking about? Putting a cap. No, they were talking about giving the go-ahead for a reduction in production, which I find a bit weird because stockpiles are dropping, and yet they're saying we're okay for you to slow production. Can't remember where it was, but I get the feeling they're doing that to manipulate price up, because obviously if we've got the barrels dropped again this week, which should have had a positive reaction for oil on Wednesday, but it didn't. I was expecting oil to go because the barrel count went down to 3.3 negative, so it was all bullish for oil, and yet yesterday we came down hard. If they put the cap on production and they say you're okay to reduce production, and we've got negative barrel numbers, there's going to be less oil available, therefore price will go up. So it looks like they're trying to manipulate the price back up again, and it's likely because we're getting to this point, like I keep saying, where we're not able for some reason to make a positive move. So we've just broken out, and I'm expecting this pop, and I think it looks like they're trying to help it. Whether or not it'll happen, don't know, but they've given their sort of blessing to it, or rather they said they're considering it. But it's all about candles, you know. If the Arabs turn around, not the Arabs, the Saudis and everybody in that area that produces oil turn around and say, right, we want prices to go up. They've got ways and means of doing that. It's all back scratching in politics and oil. So hopefully we'll get that push. But we were extended, as I said. I was expecting a pullback. We've had the pullback, and we didn't manage to break the lows though. So if you look at this, this is the close yesterday. That's the low from the previous. So we didn't break that low. So we are basically sitting in an inside bar, which is good because it means we could potentially push north. So still like oil long, and just waiting basically for the next leg up. Indices. For example, if they find a new big oil source, what would happen to price? Not a lot. Everything's driven by supply and demand. If you find more supply, you won't necessarily produce it. This is what with oil. The thing you have to understand about oil is every Wednesday we get the figures, crude oil inventories. Yeah, and this is the number of barrels, the change in the number of stored barrels, basically. So we are basically 3.3 million barrels less in stock worldwide, I don't know if this does measure worldwide or what it measures, but it's basically 3.3 million barrels, commercial firms, held in stock. So this is the supply. If demand stays flat and supply drops, price can increase. That's really all you need to understand. If stock supply goes up and demand stays the same, they will be able to charge less for it, because there's lots of companies holding this which are competing to sell it, and the cheapest person is going to get the sale. If demand goes up and supply goes down, that's going to affect price as well. So basically, it's just a supply and demand, and the same as everything else. You know, it's like chickens. If all of a sudden there's a bird flu and half the chicken stocks in the UK get killed off, the price of chicken rises because we don't stop eating it. The demand for chicken is the demand for chicken. That doesn't change. If the supply of chickens goes down, the price of chickens goes up. It's just market. So that's gone down. So that's basically all you need to understand with oil. Is supply and demand. So it should go up. If you find a new source of oil, it's brilliant. You found a new source of oil. You're not mining it and producing loads more out of it because you've got to set up the equipment on it. And there's no point. And there is also a cap. OPEC put a cap on barrel production. You can't produce more barrels than you're allowed to, unless OPEC says so, which is what I say about, you know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. So someone in the United Arab Emirates will turn around and go, hey, Mr. OPEC, would you like to come for dinner? Oh, I dropped $20 million on the floor. If someone found that, it'd be very lucky for them, wouldn't it? Would you possibly put our production levels a bit lower, please, so we can push our prices up? That's what happens. I'm sure they don't drop 20 million. Imagine trying to pick up $20 million and carry it home. That's going to be a bloody big box, isn't it? Anyway, that's just an example. You know what I'm saying. Sean, can't place another review on MT5 marketing. You only get one review. Yes, you do. Yeah. Thanks for trying anyway. Aussie New Zealand is about to hit ADR. It's on the way. Approaching 100% pain, yeah. This is the trouble with your account, Sammy. Even at 0.01, you're going to be over leveraged on it, aren't you? Because you've got such a little account and such a tight. You know, this is what I say: 0.01 per $1,000 in your account. Yeah, is for position trading. Start there. If you're feeling aggressive, per $2,000 in your account. But this recommendation is when you're using all of it. So if you've got a $4,000 account, yeah, in theory, you could trade a 0.04. But I'm assuming you can use all of that $4,000. Yeah, what you can use is like $200 or $300, isn't it? So it doesn't work because you can't use this 4K because you've got on your prop firm, you've got a drawdown limit. That's the problem. If it's looking closer on yours, it's because you've got an overnight spread, which is different on Aussie New Zealand, I'd imagine, Diamond. If I look at my Aussie New Zealand on here, yeah, look at that Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, we had this conversation yesterday, didn't we? Aussie New Zealand on Traders Global, Aussie New Zealand on Robo Forex. Big difference. So your ADR is going to be completely different. Yeah, I've hit ADR, look. But that's because this broker is a bitch, basically. No two ways about it. This broker rips off their customers. This broker doesn't. The big difference you usually find, which isn't the case here, but is the case most of the time, if you get an ECN account, right, you will get less spread manipulation. And what I mean by that is an ECN account typically charges commission, right? So you look at my Robo Forex account, I get charged commission on every trade I take. And I get charged a swap. And I get charged a spread, but my spread is quite low. I mean, on the Aussie New Zealand, it's quite big. Most brokers who do that ridiculous manipulation, yeah, do not charge a commission. They're commission-free accounts, right? So they make their money by ripping people off on the swaps. This broker happens to rip you off with commission and rip you off on the swaps. So they get twice as much out of you. These are a really, really bad broker. Traders Global, 8-cap, same. Just my opinion, you know. It's not really an opinion, is it? I'm not saying this because I don't like them. I'm saying this because you can visually see, and I'm proving as a fact here, that these guys manipulate the market ridiculously. These guys don't. It's not being nasty to them. It's a fact. These guys are ripping off retail brokers, retail customers by spreading. But unfortunately, that massively manipulates your ADR, because ADR is measured as the average daily range from the low to the high. And you're going to get a different figure. Nothing you can do about it. So get a broker that doesn't muck about at midnight is the only thing you can do. So yeah. Link to Aussie. So yeah, if you look for a broker, always look for a broker that charges commission, because brokers that charge commission, cut long story short, brokers that charge commission are much less likely to manipulate overnight, because they are making money out of you when you trade. They are making money out of you holding your positions and borrowing money against your trades, and they are making money out of their spread. Yeah, brokers that don't charge commission are much more likely to manipulate overnight, because they will make money by moving the market to take people's positions out, i.e. make them get back in, which makes them enter new positions, which makes them new spreads. And those brokers that don't charge commissions, most of the time they are A-book brokers, which basically will be taking the other side of your trade. So it's in their interests to stop you out, because that makes them money on the other side of your trade, as well as losing you money. So it's all, you have to understand how brokers work. They're all crooked. Not all crooked, most of them are crooked. That New Zealand dollar is really coming down, isn't it? Anyway, sorry, wrong one. So back to analysis. Link to Aussie dollar Swiss stop hunts. Stepped out the longs and stopped out the shorts. Yeah. Yeah, so that's exactly it. You know, they came down here. Everybody that went long there has got to stop under there. Everybody that went long there has got to stop under there. Right? Everybody that shorted that has got to stop there. Everybody that shorted there, oh, you wouldn't really short there, but would have a stop up there, wouldn't they? So what did they do? They widened the spread at the open all the way up to there and all the way down to there. They took everybody's money there, everybody's money there, everybody's money up here in the clouds where no one ever went with price. They took everybody out. Everybody, pretty much everybody that took a trade yesterday got killed last night, and all that money went in the broker's pocket. And then they came back and went, what do you mean? Nothing happened. Unfortunately, we can see it on the chart. And this is why I switched from Axie to Robo Forex. Axie started doing this a lot. I've been with Axie for years. I had pro ECN accounts with them. I was paying them an awful lot of money in commission, and they started widening the spreads massively overnight. It's just suddenly started, and I noticed it. And then I noticed it again. And the only reason I noticed it was because of situations like this, where I had aggressive drawdown control positions in, and I was waking up in the morning going, hang on a minute, why have I been taken out of that? And I suddenly noticed I was being taken out by spreads. And it got to the point where it happened way more than I wanted to, so I switched broker. And this is why I move around brokers a lot, because they do it. They will do it. And I think, you know, I'm on the B book with my broker. I know I'm on the B book with my broker because I make money. They don't put people on the B book with the broker if you are a losing trader. You go on the A book and they take your money, basically. They take the other sides of your trade. B book customers are the profitable customers. Those are the ones they make the commissions out of. If you upset your profitable customers, it doesn't really matter, because you make all of your money out of your A-book customers, where you're taking the other sides of their trades. Don't forget, 95% of people lose 90% of their account within 3 months. So taking the opposite side of any retail trader's trade is the way to make money. Yeah. If I could, there's 5,000 people in the Telegram group. I think there's probably about 4,500, maybe 5,000. There's 5,500 people in the Telegram group. I think probably 5,000 of those are probably losing money at the moment. If I took the other side of those 5,000 people's trades, I'd be a millionaire. That's what brokers do. Yeah. But when you start making money, they start losing money. So every week, day, month, they have a script or that runs on the broker, which basically analyzes and predicts moving forward as well what their P&L will be if they took the other side of your trade and if they didn't take the other side of your trade. Yeah. And when they see all of a sudden you've got 2 to 3 months of consistency in your account and they've been losing money consistently on all the trades they've been taking the other side of with you, they switch you over to the B book, and the only money they make is commission and swap, which is on the loan taken out against your account, which they charge you for. So basically they take out, if I've got a 40k account, they take out a 40k loan, and basically they charge me a swap, which is basically interest on the loan they take out to take the other side of my trade, because they're not using their own money anymore, because it doesn't make sense to use their own money, because otherwise they lose it. There you go, quick lesson in how brokers work. If you didn't know, whole thing's geared up to extract money from you and me. I will do the analysis in a minute. Just lots of questions coming in on on chat. Yeah, and they won't take your TPs, obviously, Sammy. It's not in their interest to take TP. If you TP on your trade, they lose money. Don't forget. If you are on the book where they're taking the other side of your trade, you lose money. They lose money. So why would they TP you? If it goes, you know, this section here, yeah, 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after the overnight swap, this section here, just remove all your stops. Basically, if you can, if you're awake, remove all your stops if you use stops. I mean, this is why I don't use stops, but only for aggressive positions, because I have to. But remove them all. Let that calm down, and then 20 minutes into the next session, put them back on again. It'll stop it. Write a little script, maybe, or get a little script written to remove the stops and then put the stops back in place for you or something. I don't know. But this happens constantly. Don't forget about the buy spread on the rollover. Yeah. I have high swaps, $6 in commission per lot and disgusting spread. Yeah, you will do. Prop firms are in bed with brokers to get you trading with specific brokers. When you get a funded account with a prop firm, depending on the type of prop firm it is, they will either pass you over to a third-party prop firm, and that prop firm will then either take you on as a broker customer and decide to take the other side of your trade because they've looked at your P&L and how you've passed your evaluation and gone, that guy's not going to last. And they'll take the other sides of your trades and they'll make money that way. Or if you're decent, you'll get passed over to a prop firm where they'll put basically a month's worth of trading with you through their accounts and see if you can make money and make money in a proper way that they like. And then they will fund you with real money, but they won't fund you with any broker that does anything like this. They'll be funded with an ECM broker and probably direct into the market, because it's not in their interest to stop you out, is it? So, but it depends on the prop firm. They're all different. They all work in a different way. Thanks for teaching us how to scalp DAX at Frankfurt Open. That's okay. That was ages ago. H4 Aussie New Zealand 85% on ADR. Yeah. If anyone wants to some free money, next 5-minute break, take it. You're not going to get in until almost a break of the Asian. Well, no, the Asian low's down here, but almost a break of that low. If you want to get in aggressive, I would get in. Why are you not deleting? Okay. I would get in on a break of that candle. or getting on a break of that high. That's too late at the moment, just because you've just had that solid push. But they've just taken all the liquidity from there. Don't know, Aussie New Zealand, a really difficult one today. Yeah, if you look at this on M1, you'll see. Yeah. So this is this is 22 minutes into the session. So this candle here is before the swap. Yeah, and that manipulation happened until 22 minutes in. In fact, you can see it. It's all light liquidity, but in fact, until there, it really didn't start trading normally again. But you can see all of this is broker manipulation. The other thing you need to remember is a lot of EAs will work on candle close. So you will have a lot of daily orders and 4-hour orders triggered here. So there'll be EAs running, which a lot of retailers use, which will be buy at the close of a candle. So at this point in time, at this swap, there's an awful lot of orders being entered into the market, and there's no liquidity in the market. So they will move this around a lot because there's a lot of orders coming in. I've had instances, which is why I put the filter on the EA, the spread. I put a spread filter on the EA because I've had instances where I've got triggered into a trade with a market reversal because it's gapped down, and I've been stopped out in the same candle because they spread it so much that it actually entered me at the worst possible price. Say the entry was there, it entered me down here because of the spread. My stop was up there, and they spread it so high that I actually got entered and exited the same position within minutes. 50 pips in some cases, you know, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, that's enough of that. You know, it goes on. If your broker's doing it, change that's all you can do. Switch brokers. Right, DAX. Let's start off with the indices. So I've done oil, looking for longs. Oil, DAX. So DAX, we're looking basically all the indices yesterday. We had another pullback day. We got the gap fill done. Sean, are you in here? I don't know if that's Sean in here that's posting the Telegram group, but yeah, that's not me. If you get somebody's contacting people pretending to be me, that's not me. TT. You can tell market structure, market underscore structure underscore trader at market structure trader. Yeah, I mean this is basically people pretending to be me. It's not me. So ignore. Basically what they do is they will contact you on Telegram and say, hi, how you doing, blah blah blah, start talking to you, and then they will say, did you want to buy any of my indicators? And they will then basically say, send me some money via Bitcoin or whatever, however, and then they'll just run off with your money basically. So I will never ever ask you for money. I will never ask you to fund, to trade an account for you, to do anything. I'm not doing anything. You either buy the indicators through MQL5, they're not available anywhere else, and I will never manage an account for you. So if anybody asks you that, tell them to stick a rocket up their ass. DAX, pulling back. So looking for next leg down, as we said, could pull back up into the gap fill here and drop. But we've got this candle at the moment, this down candle, which I'm expecting to be in control. I'm looking for the 24.72 to hold up. Obviously, as you can see, that's wind downtrend, and we're expecting continuation of market structure to the downside. Same with all the other indices. Nasdaq, we had an update again yesterday. We've got the gap fill on the Nasdaq coming up, which is here. So there's your Nasdaq gap, which we're not far away from. The S&P is very similar. And the Dow as well. There's quite a way to reach. These don't always get filled on the indices. Most of the time they will do, but they can take a long time to get filled gaps. Sometimes, you know, you're talking a week or two. So don't expect it suddenly to come up there. It may well muck about for a bit before it comes up, and it may orphan it and just go. We don't know, but normally price is attracted to gaps because there's unfinished business with institutions in there that doesn't get done. They want to get it back there to do it. So, but looking for shorts overall, obviously on all the indices, we're looking for the recession to continue, to start. And there's no reason why we shouldn't continue down in the markets. So any pullbacks you get, start short positions on. I'm shorting the DAX at the moment. I'm not in at the moment. Oh, yeah, because I got out yesterday, didn't I? I will be getting in it. Now, just about to get in it. Literally in 1 minute. Let's watch it live. I don't know how many seconds I've got to go. We might be sitting here for quite a while. Why does my clock not do seconds? It's annoying. So I'm watching paint dry, isn't it? I'm going to get in a minute. I bet this reverses now and doesn't give us a break. There you go. I'm sure. The guy's contacting me directly. It was super dodgy. Yeah. I say, Sean, I don't contact anyone direct. People contact me all the time. I get tons and tons and tons of DMs all the time in Telegram. I don't have time to reach out and go, hi, how you doing? Really, don't have time. And look at the icon that I use in Telegram. It's the company logo. My logo, basically. If someone's contacting you and it's not my logo, it's not me, is it? People do fall for it, though, unfortunately. So, short one DAX. We've just done liquidity run of the highs. All gone. So it's opened the floodgates for this move down. Looking for a break of the low, really. So we had a rotation day yesterday, looking for a drop. So short one on the DAX. We'll see how that one goes. So that's the EA that took that, obviously, not me. As you saw, I didn't press anything and it automatically, magically took a trade. So those are all looking good. ADRs today, nothing so far, depending on your broker. So yeah, nothing's hit ADR yet. We've got weeklies hit. So Aussie dollar Swiss, we've got the weekly hit. So we put in 152-ish off of a 144. So again, that's why I'm getting in aggressive. Yeah. So when we look at trades, when I'm in positions that are starting to get uncomfortable, this is when you start to look at aggressive drawdown control. When you've got a reason to get in, I've got a reason to get in aggressive here. There's multiple reasons to get in aggressive on the Aussie dollar Swiss here. Yeah. We've got highs taken out here. We've got highs where we consistently come up to and then we reverse away from, which we are at. We've had a reversal alert on the 4 hour. We've hit the weekly range high. There is so many reasons for this to come down, hardly any reasons for this to go up. That's why I'm getting in aggressive. And that's why I got in aggressive on it yesterday. We are right where we would expect to turn. Aussie New Zealand, same thing. We've hit the weekly. Obviously, with weekly ranges, we can do 125, 150, 175 ADRs, average weekly ranges rather. Not often It's not often we get above 150. It takes a big fundamental event to move a currency pair more than 150% of their normal weekly ranges. So we are right where we would expect the Aussie New Zealand to start reversing as well. So as Sammy said, you can start looking for reversal alerts on the Aussie New Zealand. Again, look at this on Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, look at the difference in where the reversal alert is there, and then look at the reversal alert on my other broker. Look at the price action on that candle there. That's a down candle. There's no down candle there, is there? Aussie New Zealand M5. Totally different price action. Broker manipulation. Brokers are your trading, and thing you got to understand, you're trading a CFD, a contract for difference with your broker. You are not trading the market price. You're trading what your broker is showing you. Different brokers are going to show you different things. Look at that. And look at that. Totally different price action. That's a down candle. That's an up candle. Going to get reverse alerts in different places. Again, this is why I keep saying to everybody, trade your charts, don't trade mine. Your charts are going to be different to mine. If you get a reversal alert there, take it. It's a market structure shift. In fact, on this particular occasion, Robo Forex is actually a better entry. Anyway, so yeah, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, definitely a short. Euro odd, we also have extended on the weeklies, massive extension to the downside. I'm short on Euro New Zealand at the moment, which is basically the same as the Euro odd. I'm not longing extensions on RSI on this or any extensions on this at all. We've hit the downside basically for the week. Oops, wrong one. Switch that back to 5. So we've hit the downside for the week. Expect this one to probably pull back, but not pull back far and then start a short again. So if you're going to take this, you've kind of missed it really. It happened late last night. You did have one last night. Obviously it's redrawn because we went into an accumulation, but you could take that entry there, but don't expect to get too far with it. Just be a bit cautious. That's where I'd really, that's where I would look to go. There's not really any room. Failing that, there. ADR 125. So you're either going to get a tiny pullback or potentially 125 ADR move if you want to take it long, but personally I'm not longing the euro, as you know. Hourlies, nothing. 4 hourlies, all we've got is Aussie New Zealand, which is, you can see Aussie New Zealand is off the chart. So this is where, even if I'm bullish as I am, Aussie New Zealand, this is the point where I start thinking, might as well just go for it because it is so extended. If you get an extension, and this is the important difference between taking a good RSI reversal and a bad RSI reversal. A good RSI reversal is when you are massively extended and there's been no profit take move. Yeah. So if we are extended above 80 and price has done this, and we're extended above 80, we've had profit take moves, loads of them. Yeah. If price is like that and we're extended above 80, that is the elastic band stretched, which will ping back very quickly because there's been no profit take moves. So everybody that's entered here, there's been that one little blip. That's it. All the speculators are still long. They need to take profit. As soon as we see a bearish engulfing going in here, as soon as we see a massive shooting star going in here, the market is going to look at it like they did there and go, hang on a minute, this looks like this moves over. We better get out of our longs. They will then need to enter short to get out of their longs. When they enter short, everyone will see that short happening and everyone will go, hey, look, there's a short opportunity. Everyone will get in short and that move will just cascade and start. So the crowd mentality. So very, very, very extended. When we get up to these sorts of levels without profit take, I'm interested. Even though my bias on it is massively long, it's extended. Yeah, that's coming. That's coming. Yeah. Look at the speed of these moves where we get these pullbacks. Yeah. There's a reversal coming. Don't know when, but you know, if you get into this now, right now, and it continues to push, what's going to happen to RSI? It's going to get more and more extended, and there's going to be more and more people in the squeeze going, hi, this looks good, and more people are going to get in, and it's going to come down even faster. So Aussie New Zealand looks massively good at the moment for a short. I've already got Aussie New Zealand on. In fact, I am tempted. Do you know what I might do? I might take it on this. Yeah. I'm going to take it on my Forex funds account. And what I'm going to do, 10 pips. I'm going to do a $200 risk on it, and I'm also going to stick sell stop under the lows there, and I'm going to stick a sell stop under the lows there. So this is an aggressive position. So you know, this thing is massively extended. I would expect us to get back down to either there or coming down to one of these points here. Yeah, so this area here. Or if it's going to continue really strong, really bullish, we may just get a profit take back down to there or back down to here. So either way, I think we've got a decent drop. May happen today, unlikely. More than likely will happen early next week. So these are the TPs I would kind of look at. But yeah, massively extended. But I'm bullish on it, so I want to be taking longs. But you know, we are very extended there. The reason I'm not taking it on my main account is because I'm not taking anything that's risky. It's riskier taking this Aussie New Zealand because I've already got it on. If you think about what I'm doing here, what I've just done, I've just doubled my exposure on Aussie New Zealand, haven't I? I already had an Aussie short. I already had a New Zealand long. With the pound New Zealand and the Aussie Swiss. So what I've done is just doubled my exposure on the Aussie and the New Zealand. So if for any reason the Aussie now decides to pump for some reason, or the New Zealand dollar decides to tank for some reason because of some fundamental, I'm now double exposed on it. No point at the minute on my main account because I've got 22% in there to protect. So, but I'll take it on this one because this is funny money, isn't it? It's a prop firm. It's not real money until the prop firm has passed. And at the moment, I need to get on top of this Aussie Swiss. So the more aggressive positions I can get on to put some profit in here and help to reduce this and get this back, the better. So I'll take that one on there. Aussie New Zealand looks good. So that was on the 4 hour. Euro CAD we've still got on the daily as well. Massively extended. When I say massively, it is extended, but it's Euro. Yeah, I'm not long in this. We're just weak on the CAD at the moment because of oil. So, but we're not going to be strong on the Euro. Again, this afternoon, be aware, obviously, Jackson Hole, Lagarde is there. Lagarde might come out and say something about rates. So we need to be a little bit careful with with everything at the moment, there is talk of the euro increasing their rates. So by 1%, up to 1%, which would be bullish for the euro, finally. The fact that the one time I enter short, it goes that far is hilarious. The moment Aussie pulls back, I'm past my evaluation. Yeah, there you go. It only takes one trade. If you find yourself, what you just said there, if you find yourself constantly saying, every time I get in, it goes the other way, yeah, look at where you're getting in and why you're getting in. During COVID, a lot of the time, I was only taking 80s and more, I think it was. I can't remember if it was 80s or 85s. But on the RSIs, I was only taking 80 pluses as trades because I found that a lot of the time things were getting extended to 68, 70 and bouncing. And what that would mean is price would do that. So what I decided to do was say, I'll only get in there. And I got into a lot less positions, but those positions turned very quickly within 2 to 3 trades, rather than having to get stuck into 6 or 7 sometimes. So if you find yourself constantly saying to yourself, as soon as I get into it, it goes crazy, don't get into it until there. Yeah, very easy to do. On your RSI dash, set alerts on RSI 4 only. So that's RSI 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, and keep 4, 5, and 6 on. And you will only get alerted when you need to get in on an 85 extension. Same with the 1 hour. Yeah. If you're trading M5, H1 M5, and in more on H1, because obviously H1 extensions on H4 it might not even be extended yet on H4. H1 could be up in the clouds, and H4 could be down here. So, you know, that's a good example, isn't it? So yeah, to set it 80s. Only tell yourself, I'm only going to take 80s. And if you don't get any entries that day, you don't get any entries that day. Fine. Stick the EA on and say to the EA, only get me in if we get extended to 80-20, and put it on every pair. Yeah. If you and you will find that a lot. Yeah, it happens. RSI is not the holy grail. RSI is a condition indicator. Just because it's extended doesn't mean it's coming down. It can extend itself and accumulate, and then extend itself again. Yeah, RSI is just telling us there's a possible entry. If it extends itself there, yeah, probably. If it extends itself there, what's the reason for it to turn there? Nothing. There's no reason for it to turn there. There is a reason for it to turn there, because there's going to be a million limit orders sitting at the high. There's no reason for it to turn there, though. Right, that's all the dashboard's done. So nothing particularly interesting there at all at the moment. Apart from Aussie New Zealand, which is a lovely short, but it is a long contradiction. But it's a mean reversion, yeah. So you know, mean reversions against the trend, you just don't get greedy on them. Don't get greedy. Look at where you're likely to go. What's that? That was 4-hour dash. I just have them set on the right time frame so I know which one I'm looking at. So yeah, just look at where you're coming to. Yeah, look at levels. And yeah, I certainly think we can get down below there though. Not today, next week. You never know though. We've seen those elevator shafts, haven't we? Can happen. It's very, very extended. As soon as people start taking profit on this, it's going to come hard, isn't it? So, right. So let's do a quick rundown of everything today. Aussie CAD shorts at the moment based on Canadian dollar strength off of oil. We're long-term bearish on it. Aussie dollar is kind of neutral, slightly strong. Canadian dollar, we're waiting on the oil to help, which it isn't at the minute. So it's just kind of a bit slow at the moment, and it's gone into a bit of a range bound over the last couple of weeks. So still like it's short, but it's one of those pairs you can really take anything on it. It'll go either way. It moves very nicely when it moves, so I'm not particularly worried about it. Just like it short because of the CAD. Aussie dollar Swiss, I like it short. So Aussie, obviously I'm in Aussie Swiss on the other account at the moment, but Aussie Swiss, yeah, this is exactly where I would be looking for shorts. It's pushing up at the moment still, but we are so far today bearish. So market structure is nicely shifted down. So as long as we don't break this high, we've got every opportunity of putting a new low in and getting this cascade effect start. The problem we've got is on the way up, we had a lot of market structure put in. And 15 is easier to see. So we had a lot of market structure put in. We had a lot of highs. There's a lot of levels here which we could potentially bounce at. So as we're coming down, it's going to be a bumpy ride rather than a drop, I think. So I don't anticipate it being particularly quick, but if we break this high today, we could accumulate. We could have a wick off spring to the upside before the move down. Don't know. We really need some Swiss franc strength as well, which is a little bit lacking at the moment. But love it short here. Technically, it's a lovely short, long term, and we're at a really, really good level. Lovely level of balance there, which we're retesting. We've got to get through all of this as well. A lot of banks will be defending that position. There's the rate, there's the accumulation, there's the drop. There's a lot of money sitting here, not wanting this to go any higher. You can tell that, it's obvious. Yeah, every time we come up to this level, it gets rejected. This is the banks stepping in saying, nope, we're short. We are short, people. Why are you not seeing this? We're short. Eventually everyone's going to go, yeah, all right, we're short. And it will go. But who knows? If the banks have given up on it, because the Swissie's not able to get any traction, we may well see it reverse, but we'll see. Aussie dollar yen, really don't know with any yen pair still. We've got weakness on the yen from the news, but until we get some strength on the yen, I'm looking for long opportunities, not shorts on everything yen. So I haven't had a chance to get into this one at the moment. Aussie New Zealand, just we've discussed to death. Aussie US, like it as a short based on US dollar. This afternoon will be really key. When we get the PCE figures coming out this afternoon, and we've had Powell speaking, we may well see either some strength or some weakness coming through on the US dollar. Every time Powell speaks, every time the Fed does anything at the moment, it really is a coin flip as to whether they're going to be bullish or bearish on it. So this could go either way. There's not really any extension on the 4 hour. Overall, US dollar has been obviously strong apart from the last month or so where we've had we're not going into a recession, Actually, it's not going to be quite a soft landing as we thought it was. Actually, recession might be on the cards. So US dollar is more bearish at the moment, and it's, for me at the moment, completely neutral. I don't know. I haven't got a bias long or short on it. So it makes it trading the US dollar, it makes it very difficult. But from a technical perspective, looking for RSI extensions and looking for support resistance. So I can't really take anything on this at the moment where it is. CAD Swiss sideways. This is a long against a long still. So very difficult to tell which way this one's going to go. Very tiny ADR on CAD Swiss. Not really worth investing in much at the moment. So you can probably, as you can see, you can take this, if you get an extension in either direction, the price action on it is just lovely. Chop up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So take whatever you want extension wise. There was an opportunity to get in short on last week. When was that? 23rd. No, it was earlier this week, Monday. But there's no real extensions on it, no strength, so nothing of interest there. CAD yen sideways completely. Yeah, no idea, not going anywhere. Swiss yen, same thing. Want to look for longs on it. I want it down here somewhere so I can long it. Can't. Euro odd shorts, any kind of pullback, short it. Not longing it down here. We've hit this level. What was that level? That's a level from another pair. We've basically taken out these lows. So technically, I'm not a fan of liquidity runs from such a long time ago. I don't think this is a liquidity run. But this is an area we paused at previously. So there's every opportunity we're going to do the same. The Australian dollar at the moment is fairly strong, and the euro isn't. So whether or not they can bolster enough to get up, I don't know. But what I would much rather do is wait for it to get somewhere between 24.72 and short it. Euro CAD, same thing, looking for short opportunities, not longing it all the way down there. Again, daily, we're extended, but I'd much rather do that, obviously. Euro Swiss, exactly the same thing. Yeah, this is mother of all shorts. Not interested down here. Whoops. I'm interested in shorting it. I think with this one, if we get up to here, anywhere around this area, I'm interested in shorts, because by the time we get there, we'll be coming down on the 24. So this is really where I'm interested. If we can get a push up to that area, I'm interested in getting short, because even if you're getting short there and the euro does manage to push, there's so many levels coming up that you can use as support, resistance, double tops, etc., where the market is going to bounce from. Scaling in on it, you'll probably get some big drops. Every time we get a drop on the euro, it's, you know, accumulation, collapse, push, collapse, pullback, drop. The drops tend to be very fast, very hard. So if we can get a pullback, you know, we're going to get the same sort of movement happening all the time the euro is bearish and all the time the interest rates are not going up in the euro, which may happen as well. So there is obviously that caveat where we may well see the rounding bottom starting to form, because the euro is going bullish, because they may increase their interest rates. But again, until Lagarde comes out and says we are going to do this, or we have an interest rate announcement where we have on paper, 0.75, the euro is bearish. So we're going to stay bearish on it. Euro pound, no idea. Wow, what the hell? Pound's coming down hard today then. So euro pound, big push. Massively weak pound today. 48 ADR, I've said this many times. I'm really not interested in tying up my capital in this unless it's the mother of all setups. I want this thing extended beyond 80-20, and then I'll be interested. And I'll be interested in either direction. The euro pound is range bound, and it is range bound most of the time. It's a range bound pair. Because euro and pound are trading partners close together, we like to keep our currency nice and easy. So you're going to get a lot of sideways action. And because of that, it means you can really take any extension on RSI, because it's a manipulation. Yeah, and you'll just be able to get out on the opposite manipulation on the profit take move. So just look for extensions on it whenever you get them and you've got an opportunity to get in. I think Diamond took the last extension on 4 hour on this one. I think was it that one? I think you took. And you know, you've just got to be prepared. You're going to sit in it for a week because it's so slow. That's just the, you know, that's what happens with this one. You just have to wait. unfortunately. So I would really look at decent extensions, maybe the 75-25, 80-20, 70-30. You're going to tap it every now and again and you'll get a trade out of it. But if it wants to push further, you could be sitting in it for a week, scaling in, a week back to break even, and then another week to get into profit on it. You know, it's just one of those pairs that takes forever to move. So but at the moment it's midline RSI. So hourly probably is a better vehicle for this, to be honest. Probably better just to watch the hourly and try and take hourlies on it rather than 4 hourlies. If you get them, you know, it's just sideways. So at the moment, Aussie pulls back. I'm passing my, oh yeah, sorry, read that one already. The moment Aussie pulls back, you're passing your evaluation. It's very, very tight London session at the minute. Euro yen. Again, euro yen. I want to long everything against the yen. I just don't want to long the euro. So this is the one. I've missed 2 good opportunities on this recently. Just because I don't want to long the euro. I actually took the Swiss yen long here. And I traded the Swiss yen long because the Swiss yen looks pretty much the same. But I took the Swiss yen here and I had more faith in the Swissy. So you can take this long, but it's the euro and it's the yen. It's just very, very difficult. Yeah, as Diarmon's just said, euro pound was an ADR reversal short back on the 4th of August, held it until the 10th. So there you go. 4th of August, all the way back here. Yeah, so this is the ADR reversal here. Look. Held it to the 10th, which was here. So in, second, third, and exit, I would imagine. Yeah, it's just, but look how long that took. 5 days to come back to where it was. And then we had another little push, and then we had that lovely 3-4 day drop, 3-4 day pump, 3-4 day drop, pumping, drop. You know, he's just, don't get in it without a week of pain. Not pain, just a week of watching paint dries, one of those pairs. So yeah, euro yen, of all the yens, if you know, my bias is to try and long everything yen at the moment. The euro yen and the pound yen are the 2 that I'm just not interested in. Everything else against the yen, yes, I'd be happy, but not those 2. There's better yen pairs. If you're going to trade the yen, don't trade the euro and the pound at the minute because they're too weak. Euro New Zealand, just taking my short, so of course it's pumping hard. So Euro New Zealand, this is kind of a hangover from this trade. The EA got me into another position. I was unsure as to whether I wanted to keep it. New Zealand dollar obviously is weakening at the minute, which is why we've got the Aussie New Zealand pump. But this is pretty much the same sort of thing. So it moves very, very nicely. So I will just scale into this and get out. That's why I was in it here. In fact, I got in it on the hourly rather than the 4 hourly here. Second extension out. To be honest, I left the EA on it and I forgot, and the EA just took a trade. I'm in it. I'll just manage it, but still like it short. It's the euro. But there's no real reason for this. It's not an RSI extension. It's an absolutely silly trade because I forgot to turn the EA off. But anyway. Euro US dollar. Shorts. Don't want to be long in this one. Still not going to long it. So waiting for pullbacks to short, unless the Fed comes out and says we've decided to increase rates by 0.25%, and then the market's going to go, really? Okay, and the US dollar is going to get massively weak, in which case we could see a big push. But I will take that push still. I would still take that short because the Fed will come out and go, only joking, and they'll put it by 0.5 or 0.75 because they'll gauge the market reaction. The Fed are so precious over the US dollar because the US dollar is the king of the currencies. They're very precious over it. If the market reacts badly to something they said, they undo it. We've seen it many times, haven't we? We've been press conferences. and then the market has tanked. And then somebody from the Fed has come out on an emergency press conference and said, guys, I think you misunderstood what we actually meant by that. What we actually meant was this. Please pump the US dollar back up. And the market goes, oh, okay. So you'll find that even when you get bearish sentiment on the US dollar, 9 times out of 10, it will get undone. The market is always generally bullish US, unless there is a real big reason for them to be bearish on it. So how do you find the COT? If you go onto the website, COT report is up here. This is my version of the COT, which is the flip. But if you want to get the actual COT, go to the CFTC website. And then you can download the COTs. The one you want is the futures only. Well, I don't know, you trade whichever you want, but that's the one I use. That's the one most people use, futures only. And then you just download the Excel or the text file. And then you wade through 25,000 columns of data trying to find what you want. Yeah, so short, I'm looking for shorts. Just not in a position to short at the minute. Pound odd, pound's coming down hard. We had this level on the pound. It completely screamed through it and it's gone. So that's lovely. Pound New Zealand will be coming down as well. I thought I was in the Pound New Zealand. Oh, I'm in the Pound New Zealand over here. Yeah. That's starting to come down nicely. Aussie dollar New Zealand isn't. So yeah, Pound New Zealand shorts. So at the moment, any pullbacks really, you can short it. I mean, you can short this one. To be honest, you've just missed the entry on this morning. It's a lovely pullback. So if market structure is going to continue, we should be looking for new lows. So looks good. Looks good to get in now. Actually, you could stick a pending order underneath the London lows. As long as we break those Asian lows, we've got every opportunity of dropping today. Pound US dollar shorts are very hard to get into. That was really the entry here, which played out very nicely. Again, just waiting for some kind of pullback. Again, if you remember what I just said a minute ago about the RSI, this is a really good example. RSI got extended on the 4 hour. RSI got extended to 80 here on the 4 hour. We have just gone into accumulation. Now look at RSI. We're back up at 50, 40, right? We haven't gone anywhere. Yeah, so just because the RSI is extended does not mean it's going to go up. The RSI means we've had a big strong push in one direction. That doesn't mean that move is over. That means that move has stopped or is about to stop, which does give you opportunities. Yeah, there's scalping. So when you get below the 20 line, you start taking a long out. Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're going to get a pullback all the way up to there. If there's a fundamental reason why something should be bad, it'll be bad. I suspect this is coming down today because we've just announced our price cap this morning on oil and gas. Not oil and gas, on electricity and gas. So we've decided basically to kill the entire country financially by putting the doubling the price of oil and gas that we charge, which is great. And it's going up again in December, even more, another 50% or so in December, January. Yeah, I feel sorry for people on a fixed income. I really do. I think this is a nightmare. So you know, my gas and oil bill at the moment is, I think it's about £375 a month I pay in pounds, not in dollars. That's a euro sign. I can't draw a pound sign. I'm rubbish at drawing pound signs. There we go. £375. That's what I pay. That was when the price cap was at, I think it was 1,800. The price cap is now 3,600 or something, 3,650. So that is going to go up. In December, they think it's going to get up to somewhere around the region of 4,500 or possibly a little bit more. So it's going to get to the point where I'm paying somewhere in the region of £600 a month just to turn my heating and my lights on. You imagine if you were on a fixed salary of £2,000 a month, yeah, and you got a mortgage of £1,000 a month. All of a sudden, you can't afford to eat. You're not on a great salary, but even if you're on a 30k salary, it's getting tight. It's getting very difficult, and that is coupled with that prices coming down on oil. So what do you think is going to happen when the prices go up? How good is it? So pound New Zealand, pound US dollar is a short. New Zealand's Aussie New Zealand double top. Is that just double top? Is it? Oh, low time frame. Yeah. Yeah. So if we now put in a new high here, this will repaint. It will redraw the market structure here. Redraw, not repaint. The same thing, I know. And then we'll get a really nice tight reversal alert up there. So I'm really tempted to put another order under there as well, because that would be a really nice break when that happens. I'm not going to get that aggressive on it though, just in case. This is the Australian dollar, remember. New Zealand dollars. New Zealand CAD. CAD's along. New Zealand dollar, I'm kind of neutrally strong. It's weak at the moment, obviously, as we can see. I prefer this as a short than a long. So I'm looking for short opportunities. We had it there. Lovely reversal alert on the 4 hour and a beautiful drop. So yeah, looking for short opportunities on this when we get any kind of pullbacks. At the moment, we're just in an accumulation. So we've gone into a lovely little range here. If we trade back up into the high of this range, we're going to get the 24 coming down on top. So we may go range bound for a bit, which will give you the opportunity to short it. We're stuck in, basically this is a price balance, price discovery, price balance situation. So it could go either way from here. Normally, after we've had a price discovery to the upside, which has failed, we tend to get a price discovery to the downside. So we should see a drop from here. If you wanted to, a good trade on this would be just to literally take a break of the lows. Yeah, we've got a double bottom break. That's more likely going to be a breakout than a false breakout. So a good short opportunity, this level here. Yeah, we've been very interested in not going below this 80. It's a big round number, basically. That is the actual big round number, 0.8 there. But it's basically looking like a nice break to the short New Zealand CAD. New Zealand Swiss, again, same thing with this one, based on the Swiss franc strength off of the interest rates, accumulation drop. Unless New Zealand comes out and says something. But, you know, all that talk yesterday we saw on Financial Juice, yeah, this was all bullish. Yeah, all bullish. New Zealand. New Zealand's coming down today, yeah. The reason this hasn't had a positive impact is because they are on top of it. So they're just reinforcing what we already know. New Zealand are on top of inflation. Doesn't make New Zealand dollar particularly strong. It just doesn't make it weak. And that's the key at the moment. Everything is weak at the moment because they're behind inflation. So doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a strong New Zealand dollar because they're bullish about it. What the hell? I just scaled in after a double top on Aussie New Zealand at ADR high, and it immediately jumped to 0.1 ADR. Yeah. It'll come down. New Zealand Swiss, New Zealand yen. Again, New Zealand yen longs, interested down here. If we get down there, we're not getting down there, not interested. Nothing to do there, just sideways mess, not interested. New Zealand US short at the moment. Again, we're in a bit of a flag at the moment, so flag break to the downside at some point. The other one, I know my ADR high is not in the right place, just remembered after I hit the button. Yeah. Just a little tip, all right? If you're getting a lot of this manipulation and high spreading on your broker, right? Go and get a demo from RoboForex. Get a demo. RoboForex's demo accounts are unlimited. Just go and open an account with RoboForex, get a demo account, or they do cent accounts. So put $100 into a live cent account. You are then getting live ECN data feed, right? It costs you $100, but you've got a $100 account. You don't have to trade it. Use it for charting. So this is my RoboForex. This is my Forex funds account. Use RoboForex for charting. Enter your trades on whatever you want to enter your trades on. I would say if your broker is manipulating that much at night, do you really actually want to enter your trades on there? Just use someone like RoboForex or DarwinX are brilliant. DarwinX, they're a UK broker. Their feeds, I've had DarwinX accounts for 10 years. Their feeds are spot on. They're a very small broker, but they are high into investment. They run things called Darwins, which you can get investors invest in your trading account for you. There's all sorts of stuff they do, but DarwinX are a very, very, very reputable, good broker. The problem with them, and I had to leave them, unfortunately, was because they reduced their spread, their leverage to 1-30, which I couldn't trade with. So I had to leave them when the leverage rules came in. That's the only reason I left DarwinX. Otherwise, I'd still be with them. They're a brilliant broker. But if you want to use a broker for a data feed, DarwinX and RoboForex I have found to be the best for overnight manipulation. At the minute, it changes. You know, they change. New management comes in and they go, "Why are you not spreading?" And they'll go, "Well, because it's naughty." And they'll go, "Well, start." And then you switch broker, and then you find someone else. There's hundreds of them out there. US dollar CAD. Sideways mess at the moment. So US dollar, see, I've got my alert up here. We didn't get there. I'm leaving this in place. If we get up here, I'm still interested in a short up. I'm interested in a long down here. At the moment, we're in the middle. I'm not interested in anything. So I think with US dollar CAD at the moment, as we stand, you can take any extension and you should be okay. Because at the moment, fundamentally, we're long, slightly long, like very slightly long, but we've got no strength in the CAD. So unless the Fed comes out and says something that changes that bias, I think at the moment we're just kind of sideways. So as you can see, you can take any extension to the upside or the downside, and you will likely get that. The only real way that this is moving at the moment is on news. When we haven't got news, the US dollar is being pushed around a lot. So you can kind of focus your week and your trades around news, what's happening with the US dollar. So next week, we're going to get some manipulation on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and every day next week. So next week, US dollar is going to be really good to trade, both directions. But at the minute, sideways, it's just not in the right spot. US dollar Swiss short based on Swiss franc strength, and unfortunately at the moment that's something we haven't got hold of at the minute. We're right up at these highs, which is exactly where we are now running into problems. But we are, as I said before, you know, we've pushed, we've got extended, and instead of reversing and putting in a profit take move, we've gone into an accumulation, which could be the start of a second leg. If that happens, it's going to be quite tricky to pick a spot. I don't want it to come all the way out there, ideally, but you just don't know what's going to happen. So an ADR hit today off of news would be lovely. So what I'm looking today to happen, as I said earlier, is if they can come up and take out yesterday's high, that would be lovely. If they can take out the previous day's high or the weekly high at ADR, that would be superb. So they've got those two positions on. Push up there would be great. So don't forget, we've got two news events. We've got PCE and we've got the talking head news as well. So if we get a pump on the US dollar, does not mean the US dollar is necessarily going up. We can come down. Streaming error. You keep on lagging once every 5 seconds. Do I? Or your mic randomly cuts. I don't know. Pass on that one. There's nothing I can do about feed. It's down to Mr. YouTube. We're nearly finished anyway. So US dollar Swiss and then US dollar yen. Lastly, US dollar yen, I would be interested in longs. So any kind of move to the downside, I'd be interested in taking a long on that one as well. That's it. All done. Sorry if I'm lagging. I'm not doing it intentionally. I'm not in control of my lag. Yeah. I'm on US dollar CAD at the moment. It's quite a delay, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite a delay. I don't quite know. I don't understand how it works. You know, I sit here and talk away and do stuff, and it just basically streams. But how? You know. Oh yeah, I can see. Oh yes, dropped frames 14%. Yeah, I'm only using 1% of my CPU according to OBS. So the streaming software, look. We're red. That's normally green. I don't know why that is. I mean, CPU is not even ticking over, is it? I'll do some Googling today and see if I can find out why that might be. Don't know why that is. I will find out. There may be a setting I can change to kind of minimize that a little bit. Right, well, that's it for today. Anyway, so I'll be back Monday. There's nothing much moving at present that I can get any money out of. So we'll see where we get to. I'm not here. No, I'm not here Monday. Sorry, I'm not here Monday. It's bank holiday Monday. Back on Tuesday. So I won't be trading Monday. Well, I will be. I'll be watching, obviously, every now and again to see what's happening, see if I can get into stuff or bank anything. But I'm not taking any new trades. I'll just be any new positions. I'll be just adding on with the EA to anything if necessary, or banking anything if necessary. So I won't be here on Monday. Back on Tuesday. Obviously, just bear in mind this afternoon, 1:30, we've got the PCE, and then we've got Powell at 3, half an hour after the market opens. So just be aware of that. This afternoon we're going to get some manipulation on the US dollar in one way or the other, so we will see what happens. Aussie New Zealand, just about to see, got a really tight reverse alert now on Aussie New Zealand, look, because we just made a new high. So structure's working off the last push down. Nice contraction there. So we're in an hour of sideways after the initial push at London. So this is looking like it might be the highs. Aussie Swiss, I do know. Look at it. So I've just taken that second entry, short, aggressive. We're heading up for potentially my third. And then obviously if we're going to push out, I'm going to have to stop out on those and take another loss. I would never be in this many positions, and I would never have taken this on my account. I just have to because I'm forced to.